folks, welcome back to Nostalgianomics. Today we are going to talk about why your Pokemon investments are failing you and why I have always been such a huge proponent of sealed items and why I do not usually move into singles or slabs when it comes to investing. If you want to collect them, have at it. But when it comes to investing, during bull runs, you look like a genius when you own singles and slabs because usually those are the ones that are going to spike more than the sealed product and you're going to come out ahead with more gains. However, when things do start to level off and things do cool down and you start to see drops happen, the singles and slabs are usually where people get crushed the hardest, and the sealed market usually holds up much better and remains more stable over the long term. And honestly, usually it continues to have further price increases as time goes on, whereas a lot of the singles, after their time in the sun, they usually kind of level off and don't do a whole lot for usually years, where some of the top ones, they'll always do well. But when it comes to sealed items, this is why I've always focused on that mainly on this channel. So I'm going to show you exactly what's going on in this hobby right now, and hopefully you can use this data to better help yourself as you continue to buy things in terms of looking for value in the future and not just, for collectible purposes. I get it. If you want to collect the cards, collect the slabs, have at it, but more so in terms of like investing and looking for value. Before we do all that, I'm going to shout out today's video sponsor. It is Arizona TCG. Guys, Arizona TCG is your place for consignment on your PSA, BGS, and CGC slabs. Real simple. You send all your cards to them. They do all the work of selling them. They send you a fat check at the end. No questions asked. They run everything through their 100% positive feedback, over 16,000 items sold, over 3,000 follower eBay store, meaning you will get all the eyes of eBay on your cards, and they will go for top dollar. They only charge a 13.5% fee, which is barely more than what eBay charges you to do all the work yourself. They charge a $5 shipping fee if it's under $100, which again is about the same price, if not better, than what it's going to cost to ship everything yourself plus shipping materials. So if you want Arizona TCG to take care of selling all your slabs for you, make sure to check them out. The link will be in the description and the comment section below. All right, starting out with SV Base, we've got the Gardevoir SIR. This was once a $55 plus card, and now it is dipping to, it looks like, almost under $40, which is about a 30% decrease since the tops. Pretty drastic. The Drowsy, everyone remembers this story, right? Drowsy spiked up from the 30s all the way into the 80s, and now it's all the way back down in the 30s. So a complete retracement back to where it was before the spike, over a 50% price drop from its highs. We have the Magikarp from Paldea Evolve, saw highs up in the 280 range. Now it's all the way back down to around $200. Whew, over a 35% decrease. We've got the Charizard SIR from Paldean Fates. Obsidian Flames. We're going to look at the Paldean Fates SR too, but Obsidian Flames. This was spiked up. It was over an $80 card at one point just back in January. Now it's back to around $60. Massive price drop, 30% drop. We've got the Ninetales rising with all the illustration rares. It saw highs all the way in the $34 range. Guess what? Dropped in half, back around $17. Eevee from Twilight Masquerade ran all the way up over $100 a card. It's all the way back down to around $60 to $65, about a 35% price drop on the Eevee. Stellar Crown. We got Squirtle running up all the way to an $80 card, back in the 50s. We got the Terapagos, which was also in the 80s, $85 card in the 50s. We've got the Bulbasaur that ran up almost to 80. It was in the 70s, back in the 50s. All of these seeing 30-40% price drops, which is insane. We got the Pikachu, the big bad Pikachu from Surging Sparks. Oh, it was once a $486 card, all the way down to $340 with shipping. Guys, that is a massive price drop. You're talking 35% drop on the Pikachu. The Charizard from 151 ran up almost to $300. I think there actually were some sales at $300, falling all the way down in the 220s to around $230. Pretty large drop there. The Bubble Mew, subject of so much love in this run up. It was over a $420 card. Now it is all the way down to around a $320 to $330 card. Massive 30% drop there. Like I said, we get back to the Paldean Fates Charizard. That beautiful card, it was up to in the 220s. Now it's down in the 170s. Massive 25% drop. We got the Persian from Shrouded Fable. Ran up with your other illustration rares all the way to $76, $77. all the way down in the 40s now, guys, in the 40s. What is that, 30-40% drop? We got the Houndoom doing the same thing. Massive spikes up in the $54 range. Massive drop down in the 30s. And then we have Prismatic. Even the Sunbreon is not immune to these drops. It was kind of stabilizing in the $1,500s, $1,600s. Now it has fallen off quite a bit into the $1,400 range. We do have a seller here a little lower, but it is in kind of the $1,400s, but still about a 10 to 15% drop from its highs. And all of the other evolutions, I'm not going to go through them all. They're all seeing similar price drops on all of the evolution SIRs in Prismatic. And so you can see all of these cards dropping 10 to probably 40% across the board. So the question becomes, how are the booster boxes going to be affected? Well, let's start and see. Scarlet Violet base set, $195 booster box near its all-time highs. No massive dips. Are they selling? Absolutely. Just sold 4.7, 4.6, still selling at the $190, $195 price point. Even though the Drowsy and the Gardevoir, the two biggest hits in the set, are dropping off a cliff. Paldea Evolved, still rising near its all-time highs, even with the reprint rumors. Even though the Magikarp is seeing declines, the Paldea Evolved booster box still seeing rises. Obsidian Flames, Charizard dropping, Ninetales dropping, other illustrations in that set dropping. Doesn't matter, still near its all-time highs. $215 a box. Paradox Rift, near its all-time highs, about to break 200. Temporal Force is about to break 200, near its all-time highs. Twilight Masquerade, Greninja's doing pretty good. The Eevee's doing terrible. But hey, it's seeing some drops. Now, you can't correlate this to the card. Like I said, the Greninja's doing good. What's happening here is Twilight Masquerade was on the list to be reprinted. Now, we still haven't seen these massive reprints. Are they rumors? Are they coming? Who knows? But they apparently are coming. And that could be the reason Twilight Masquerade is selling off a bit in preparation for that. But it's still sitting around $215 a box. No massive drop. It's all highs near the 230s. Now it's 215. Maybe it dropped off 5% or so. Nothing crazy. Stellar Crown, the Squirtle, the Bulbasaur, the Terapagos, all the main hits in that set, all the chase cards dropping off a cliff. The boxes near all-time highs, staying over $200 a box, even though these have reprint fears as well. Surging Sparks, one of the biggest sets with reprint fears. It looks like it's doing all kind of crazy stuff when you zoom out a little bit. It's very stable, sitting in the $250 price range and has been for a while. Even the specialty sets, 151, had massive price drops in the cards when some of the packs are dropping. But the ETBs remaining very stable, about $210. Look, being stable for months now. Why? Pretty simple to tell you why. Because they haven't printed more of them. There is no rumors or chance, the chances are very low they're going to reprint more. They've just been reprinting bundles and putting Blooming Waters boxes and things like that out there, keeping the value of the ETBs high because of the scarcity, which we're going to talk about in a second. Paldean Fates, we've had some drops here, some mini tins, some bundles here, there, and Walmart's, Targets, whatever. But the ETBs are still at all-time highs around 130. Why? They're scarce. No more ETBs are coming to market. The Shrouded Fable, near all-time highs, even though the Persian Houndoom are dropping. And Prismatic, even though all of the SIRs are dropping, it is still $140 in ETB. It has been around that range, in the 140 to 150 range, ever since release. It's actually been rising after release, which is pretty crazy to see. About $140 ETB, as you can see from the sales data here. And so, this is what throws everybody for a loop that is usually newer, just getting into the hobby and doesn't understand how these things work. This is how it's always been. It's how it's always going to be. So listen up. I'll let you know why and why I am such a proponent of holding sealed product and not trying to chase the singles and the slabs. Only a handful of singles and slabs in each era perform well long term. A majority of them, usually the less popular Pokemon, the less high hit cards, usually go stagnant. They'll see ups and downs here and there, but they normally do not perform as well as the booster boxes, because every time a booster pack is opened, every time a booster box is opened, there is less supply on the market. There is more supply of the singles. Every time a card is graded, there is more population of that card. Meaning, you're constantly having the singles and slabs population go up. You're constantly having the sealed population go down, unless, of course, we have a reprint or a restock, in which case there's a blip up for a small time, and then it continues to go down again into the future. And so, you're always in competition with the singles market, trying to continuously have enough buyers for all the new population being added. Where with the sealed market, time's on your side. There's always going to be less and less in existence as time goes on, raising the scarcity, meaning the sealed you hold is now more desirable because that's what makes collectibles more desirable is scarcity as time goes on. And so, if you are looking for consistent long-term growth and long-term value, sealed product is what I've always said that I put my money in because that is what the data shows. If you are looking to kind of, go to the craps table and roll a dice or, put your money on a spinner roulette, hey, play the singles market. If you're right, you are going to outproduce the gains of sealed. But in times like this, when you're wrong, you are going to lose much more than you are in sealed. Honestly, no matter what singles do, what all the reprints do, the most likely scenario, even with the markets, the Bitcoin, all that good stuff, sealed product is likely going to stay very stable. Even if some of the sets get reprinted, they're going to drop for a period of time. They're going to continue to rise back up in the future because what happens is more people will open those sets when the packs become cheaper, and it will eventually increase the scarcity level and they'll rise again. And so this is why you see such stable sealed markets, even during crashes, even during, booms, is because there's always less of it. There's always more people wanting it. When people get back in the hobby the first time, they're going to want to come back and collect all these sets. And they're not going to be in production anymore. They're not going to be on the online sites or in the stores. And the only ones that are going to own them are people on the secondary market, which helps the value. And so do with this data what you will. I'm not trying to push you one way or another. I'm just telling you why I've always been a proponent of sealed product and always will be on this channel. I definitely make plays on singles and slabs here and there. But one thing I don't do is I don't hold a lot of singles and slabs long term because a lot of the times they're going to be a lot more volatile and I just don't want to take the risks that they have. So hope this video helped, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. And I will be back here in a new one soon. I'm out.